first thing we're going to do is make a simple water dough here. So we're going to take 2/3 of a cup of water and 1 beaten egg. And we'll mix that up to get that sort of blended a little bit. And now this is 3 cups of 00 flour. So this is the flour that's used for making like pizza dough. King Arthur sells this. So you can use you can also use all-purpose flour if you can't find this, but the recipe does call for this type of flour to start. And we're just going to add a little bit at a time and incorporate it until, bit by bit, until the dough fully comes together. So we've got a solid dough ball, but it's still sticky. And so what you want to do is you want to continue to knead this in nice amounts of more flour until as you roll it and knead it, it no longer sticks to your hands. And then at that point, we're going to wrap it and put it in the refrigerator while we make our filling. All right, this is what you want your dough to look like before we put it in the fridge. And also the reason we're putting it in the fridge, if you're not familiar with making doughs like this, is we want the gluten to have time to relax. And that's going to allow us to actually stretch it out and make it nice and thin without it tearing. Up next, we are going to get some salted water, and we're going to boil about 5 to 8 ounces of just russet potato until they get soft enough that you can put a fork through them. And once they're soft, we're going to mash them up. All right, off heat, our potatoes are nice and tender, so we're just going to manually mash these potatoes here until they end up becoming a paste and we've gotten most of the lumps out of it. I've heated up a couple of tablespoons of sunflower oil, and now we have about 4 ounces of shallots that I've diced, and we're just going to fry these up nice. You really want to get the shallots nice and brown and fried, crispy but not burnt for this recipe. So at this point, these are done, and we can go ahead and add them to the potatoes and just mix it up with a spoon, and that will be the filling for our dumplings. And we're going to leave this pan hot and put just a little more sunflower oil in it, because now we are going to cook the pancetta in the same pan. Now you want your pancetta to get fairly crispy like this, and now we're just going to take it off of heat and we're just going to set it aside, drain the fat off of it and set it aside in a bowl. And this is going to go on top of our dumplings later. I just took the dough out of the refrigerator, and now with a floured rolling pin, we're just going to roll this out into a square or a rectangle. As you're rolling here, you want this dough to really get thin, because like most doughs, it will puff up when you cook it. I've got a big sheet of our dumpling dough here now. And now we're just going to cut these into squares. To make our dumplings, we're going to get about a teaspoon of the filling. And we're just going to put that right in the middle of a dumpling. And then we're going to fold it over diagonally. Get this up here so y'all can see. And then we're just going to smoosh down the edges. So that it stays nice and sealed. And then you can see we've got a floured surface over here on the side where we will stack them all. Do not let them touch each other, and make sure they stay on a floured surface, because we're going to boil these here in a bit. I've got a pot of salted water boiling, and now we're just going to go ahead and put our dumplings in. And these are only going to take a couple of minutes to boil up. So these are just going to go in for a few minutes. When they start to float at the top again, then you know that they're done. And then we'll be ready to plate them up. So I just took the Varenyky dumplings out of the pot and plated them up here. And now we're going to finish the dish. So the first thing we're going to do is get some of our fried pancetta bits from earlier and get those all in there. The other thing you want to do is make sure you save your bacon drippings your pancetta drippings from earlier, because you actually want to get some of that wonderful grease from that pan, and you want to coat these dumplings in that grease. And that's it. These are ready to enjoy. So I love Ukrainian food. My Ukrainian friends that recently moved to the area turned me onto it, and I've been looking around for cookbooks that replicate the cuisine. Mamushka is pretty good. These came out really delicious. So try it at home. If you've never had it before, try this cuisine. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video.